You're watching the KOAO Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, a local mother speaks out after sentencing of 2 people connected to her son's death. How she's fighting to prevent other families from experiencing the same heartbreak.
Also, a new Oklahoma law is set to toughen sentencing for accessory to murder.
And we have thunderstorm chances returning later on today and this evening. I'll have those details coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAO Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney, and it is 7 a.m. May 7th.
Yes.
Pushing through the year,
Wednesday
pushing
morning.
through the month.
Here we are.
Blowing right through it, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a sentencing in southeast Kansas comes as drug overdose rates are on the rise in the Sunflower State.
Samantha Walker spoke to the mother of an overdose victim who says awareness is an important part of prevention.
According to the Kansas Department of Health and Environment, more than 700 people lost their lives to a drug overdose in 2022, with more than 67% of those deaths attributed to opioids such as fentanyl. This week, 2 people were sentenced for their roles distributing fentanyl, which resulted in the death of a Frontenac teen.
This is ending in the criminal part of this. I feel like another little piece of him is gone. You know, like this has not really kept him alive in my heart, but it's kept it real, and I don't want people to forget him.
Cooper Campidi was 18 years old when he died as a result of a fentanyl overdose in April 2023. Cooper's family continues sharing their story about the dangers of the opioid, speaking at schools and town halls across the 4 states.
And share Cooper's story, and a lot of the feedback that we hear is they had no idea about fentanyl and about how it gets into the drugs.
She says the prosecution of fentanyl cases like the one involving Cooper is important, but she adds awareness is what's needed to help prevent more tragedies like this in Crawford County.
What you're getting yourself into when you take something from the street that's not coming from a prescribed pill jar from a pharmacy and from your doctor. It can be in anything. Yeah, you never know. You never know. Cooper took half a pill.
Those struggling are encouraged to ask for help. You can seek help at the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration helpline by calling the number on your screen. Reporting in Crawford County, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The Crawford County attorney indicated in a release that fentanyl cases are increasing in the county.
They say their office will continue to prosecute these cases in an effort to combat the distribution of the opioid of the country. Both, you know, always. Right. I know it's been a big thing over the last decade or so. So yes, it's good that they're going to continue.
It's increasing, and I've spoken with Cooper Campidi, and just such a heartbreaking story what that family has been through over the past 2 years. So it's great to see that they finally have justice and are helping other families not go through that same heartbreak.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't imagine. Well, we do have rain chances continuing in the 4 states. We saw, if you were out and about this morning, a little bit of drizzle, kind of gross weather through your morning commute, but we can go ahead and take a look outside, and we've got isolated storm chances later on this evening, though thunderstorms are going to continue. Now, low risk is for our threat for storms tonight after about 9 p.m. We've also got storms continuing tomorrow, though no risk for severe weather at this time. Now, currently taking a look outside Joplin, overcast skies. That's what we're seeing right now. We're in a lull in between our next chance of rain and our previous morning rain. All right, so we're looking at this low pressure system. You can see how all the rain starts to rotate around. So that's our low. That's going to continue to push storms into the area by mid-morning, 9-10 a.m. As of right now, again, we're in that lull, so we've got a break before more storms start to roll in, but those are going to continue to push in pretty quickly. Around 9 a.m., starting to see some of these storms, isolated storms popping up. Now, Columbus, Oswego, seeing a strong isolated storm right there. Another strong isolated storm heading into Independence. It's about 9:30, 10 a.m., and then all of that will continue to lift north, bringing heavy rainfall to our northern counties. Now, all this rain just sits right on top of the northern counties until mid to late afternoon. Isolated storms are going to continue to pop up in our central and southern counties as well. And then we go into another lull before our threat for severe weather down in Benton County pops up around 9-10 p.m. But I'm going to have a full look forecast coming up.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. Well, Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt signs Laura and Ashley's law strengthening sentencing requirements for certain crimes in the Sooner State. Beginning November 1st, crimes of accessory to murder in the first degree and accessory to murder in the second degree will be added to the list of felony offenses requiring criminals to serve at least 85% of their sentence. The law is named after two girls, Laura Bible and Ashley Freeman, who went missing in December of 1999. Ashley's parents were found murdered in their burned home decades later. The cold case finally is centered on 3 suspects, but 2 of them had already died. Now, the third suspect, Ronnie Busick, eventually agreed to a plea deal in 2020, pleading guilty to accessory to murder, kidnapping, and arson. However, in 2023, Busick was released early from prison due to good behavior. Going forward, Laura and Ashley's law ensures those who aid in such heinous crimes face stricter consequences, something Laura's mother, Lorraine, pushed for years.
Is so that our family, it won't help us, but the next family that holds somebody accountable for accessory to murder will be kept in jail.
Lorraine Bible worked with the state representative Steve Bayshore to file the bill. Now, she's been a part of the investigation since day one and still hopes to one day find the bodies of both her daughter and Ashley Freeman. The Quapaw community members participated in a walk for families of missing or murdered Indigenous persons. The gathering aimed to honor victims and give grieving families a chance to share their stories in hopes of finding healing and answers about missing loved ones.
This is our way of letting their spirits, we believe their spirits are out somewhere. We're all connected through here. He's seen to it that we're connected this way.
They have to have that closure. Don't give up on working those cases, finding leads, because it is horrible to have a family member that's been missing for years and you just don't know whether they're still alive or they're not.
Now, victims of a lost loved one say they appreciate the support of the community. And road work is underway along K7 south of Girard to US 400, causing minor delays for drivers. Now, the project includes a mill and overlay to repair damaged sections and extend the life of the highway. Flaggers and a pilot car are guiding one-lane traffic through the zone with expected delays under 15 minutes.
They look at surface conditions. These were really before a lot of the potholes appeared, but they took core samples and then they realized that there was a weak layer. Normally you'd mill 1.5 inches out, but there was a weak layer that they needed to go a 3-inch mill to get to sound surface.
Well, KDOT expects the $4.4 million project to be complete by mid-June, weather permitting, of course. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, cardinals from all over the world will be participating in the voting to select the next pope. Fox News chief religion correspondent Lauren Green is in Rome with the latest.
The stage is set for the conclave.
Hello, God bless you.
133 Roman Catholic cardinal electors under the age of 80 are expected to enter the hallowed ground of the Sistine Chapel Wednesday afternoon and cast their vote for the 267th successor to St. Peter, all under the watchful eyes of Michelangelo's fresco, The Last Judgment. 3 sizes of the white iconic papal cassock are pressed and ready for whoever emerges on the loggia as the next Bishop of Rome. Vatican support staff have been sworn to secrecy under threat of excommunication, while cell phone signals are jammed in both the Sistine Chapel and the Vatican Santa Marta residence, where the cardinals are cloistered. This morning, cardinals arrived for their 12th and final general congregation, the meetings where they discuss the church's needs and size each other up to determine who is pope material. Among the standouts, Pietro Parolin, the Vatican's Secretary of State, and Francis's number 2. Cardinal Pizzaballa, the Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, notable for his diplomacy in the war between Israel and Hamas. And Cardinal Tagle of the Philippines dubbed the Asian Pope Francis.
We don't choose a pope based on continent, based on race, based on language. We choose a pope that is truly can be the successor.
The world will learn the results of the vote from the most famous chimney in the world. It will spew black when there's no winner, white when a new pope has been elected. Catholics praying for God's guidance.
The vast bulk of them are not animated by politics. They're animated by the good of the church, by discerning what the church needs.
A 2/3 vote is needed to elect a pope. The last two conclaves took 4 to 5 rounds of voting. This conclave, the first vote is tomorrow. The first smoke, white or black, will be tomorrow evening. In Rome, Lauren Green, Fox News.
And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, Catherine Pinto from the Kansas State Research and Extension Office joins us to share some information on a few camps aimed to help kids understand the process of growing their food. Well, spring can be an excellent time to teach kids the importance of gardening. We have Catherine Pinto from the Kansas State Research and Extension Office with us this morning to share how one camp can help educate kids. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah,
happy to have you. So talk to me about this Plant to Plate camp.
Yes. So my job at the Extension Office is nutrition, food safety, and health. And I'm working with our horticulture agent to teach kids where their food is coming from.
Yes.
Studies show that if you are growing your own food, that you are more likely to consume it.
Yes.
Hopefully. And so we wanted to create a program this summer that is 3 days and 3 hours each day.
Okay.
And in the morning, the kids are going to learn the history of whatever they're planting for the day, varieties, how to take care of it. And then the other half of our time together, we'll cook recipes that focus around what they planted that day.
That's fantastic. Such a great way to get kids in the know about what they're eating, and such a fun experience as well. Talk to me about when these camps are. You have 3 separate camps.
Yes. So we're offering 3 throughout our district. So the first one is going to be in Fredonia later this month. It starts May 28th, 9 to noon. And then we'll have Girard and Independence late or mid and late June.
Okay, wonderful. And you mentioned that this is from 9 to noon. What ages is this open to for children?
Yeah, so kids ages 7 to 12 is kind of our target range.
Okay.
There is some, wiggle room there. They would just need to call our office and let us know. They would sign up on our Wildcat website or find the information on our Facebook page, and it is $10 per child.
Absolutely wonderful. Just speak to me a little bit more about what you're really hoping that these kids take away from these lessons. Talk to me about some of the recipes that they might be able to make too.
Yeah, so we're focusing on tomatoes, peppers, summer squash, cucumbers, and strawberries. And so a wide variety of options, and hopefully our goal is, they see how easy it is for them to do these at home, and then they're proud of them and they want to make some of those recipes. So we're doing stuffed peppers, so different frittatas and tarts, fruit salsas. We're using our blender bike, so they get to pedal a bicycle and kind of make the salsa.
Yes.
So yeah, we have a whole bunch of recipes planned.
What a fantastic educational opportunity. I know if I was a kid, I would be all about this this camp. It sounds absolutely
volunteers.
Wonderful. So there you go. Where can people sign up to volunteer if they want to?
They would just call our office, and so they can find the information on our website.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being with us this
Thanks
morning.
For having
Happy
me.
to have you. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Well, we've got our low risk for severe weather mostly staying south of us. Now, it is just a low risk, so we're not seeing a big threat, no tornado threat or anything like that, but we are going to see potential for a strong gust front associated with some of those isolated storms, and even a risk of small hail. Now, what we're looking at is our low pressure system. So you can see how the winds are rotating around that low. That's going to continue to push in to our area in the next several hours, bringing heavier rain showers and even thunderstorms. Now, mostly seeing a little bit of this mist still moving up towards the north, but storms are popping up as that front starts to push in. Not a severe threat, but they're going to continue to work their way in over the next couple of hours, starting around 9 to 10 a.m. isolated thunderstorms, and then those push up to the north around noon, giving us heavy rainfall, Pittsburgh and north, through the mid-afternoon hours. We do have a risk for severe weather after about 9 p.m., staying south of I-44, and then we go into a bit of a lull overnight before more showers and thunderstorms pop up tomorrow. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Future track, we've got our isolated thunderstorms. This is about 10 a.m., 9:30 to 10 a.m., moving into Oswego, Columbus, another isolated storm heading towards the Independence area, and then all of that is going to lift further north. So you can see out near Pittsburgh, still going to see some heavy rain shower chances there, but mostly staying north up in Fort Scott, Nevada, Butler area, north of Parsons and Chanute. Those stick around, and then we're going to have isolated showers and thunderstorms popping up in our central and southern counties. Now, none of this is going to be associated with our low risk for severe weather today. That's not coming in until later in the evening. Now, by 6 p.m., 7 p.m., all of the heavier rainfall is lifting out of our area up to the north, still seeing an isolated shower or two, but our risk for severe weather comes in after 9 p.m. You can see down there in Bella Vista, Bentonville area, isolated storm pushing in, and again, strong gust front associated with that, with the potential of small hail. Now, as we head into the overnight hours and starting Thursday morning, mainly seeing, again, the morning starting off with this light drizzle, sprinkles, inconvenient, but not a big disruption to your morning commute, and then overcast skies. Heading into the midday hours, about noon, you can see heavier isolated showers popping up, maybe a thunderstorm or two, though not severe, no risk for severe weather. All of that continues through the afternoon hours, but as clouds start to clear out, rain starts to clear out, and we're heading into a beautiful weekend. Now, we're not quite seeing that yet today, unfortunately. Even if we aren't seeing rain in every area, you're going to experience this overcast sky. It's going to be gloomy. You can see, taking a look downtown Pittsburgh, no rain chances in Pittsburgh yet, but it is still just dreary weather throughout the day. Now, accumulation mostly staying in the northern counties. Again, 1 inch to 2 inches of rainfall accumulation. Central and southern counties could only see 1/10 of an inch in the areas that do get hit with isolated showers and thunderstorms, but not widespread accumulation. All that clears out by Thursday evening. Friday looking gorgeous. Same on Saturday and Sunday, 70s and sunny. But next week, we're going to see our first taste of summertime. You can see a few pop-up thunderstorm chances, but mainly sunny all week, and temperatures in the mid-80s. It's going to be gorgeous. That's a look at your forecast. We'll be right back.
Well, if you enjoy solving a good murder mystery as well as supporting local students, then you should consider attending the Pittsburgh High School Theater's second annual Murder Mystery Dinner. We have Anna Osborne with us this morning with an invitation to share how the proceeds will help the theater department. Welcome to you, Anna. Thank you for being with us this morning. Happy to have you. So talk to me about this Murder Mystery Dinner, and it's the second annual one too. That's fantastic.
Yeah, we started doing this last year with our ref theater class. It's a fundraiser to help support a theater department because we like to fundraise for our shows and be able to buy props and things like that. This year it's student written. Last year we bought a script online, but this year one of our seniors wrote it. And I think we have 8 cast members, and we're really excited to share what we've created together.
Absolutely. It sounds absolutely amazing. And you're one of those cast members. You're going to be playing a role. Tell me a little bit more about that.
My role is Dame Elizabeth. She's a knight in the king's military. She's the first one who discovers the murder, and she is really the one who helps the audience investigate the characters together. She's kind of the detective role. Okay. I really enjoy playing that.
Yeah, that's a big role. Are you ready? Are you feeling excited for it?
Oh, we're so ready.
That's fantastic. So this is going to be May 10th. Talk to me about the location and also the time when folks can come out to watch.
This is happening at Pittsburgh High School on May 10th, Saturday. I don't believe tickets are actually still on sale because we had to get the catering set up. Sure. We wanted to make sure people knew it happens every year, yes, so they can get ready in advance next year. It happens at the same kind of time every year in the spring semester.
That's fantastic. And the caterer is pretty special too. Talk to me about who's going to be there.
We'll be catering from Pickler Chicken Annie's and the Blue Spoon.
That's fantastic. And if people want to keep up with the Pittsburgh High School Theater Department or where these proceeds go to, talk to me a little bit about what you all are doing for the upcoming year.
If you want to know about things we're doing upcoming, you should follow Pittsburgh High School Troop 3149 on Facebook. They'll post everything we're doing. You can also follow the Friends of PHS Performing Arts to know what our students are doing in not just theater, but in choir, band, things like that. Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, Anna, well, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30. I'm Elise Snowy. Well, Goodman city officials met to consider a replacement for the open South Ward alderman seat, a position left unfilled after the April election. Voters picked Clay Sexton for the job, but he was also elected mayor and chose that position instead. Now, we're told none of Sexton's nominees chose to fill the role, so as it stands, the position is still unfilled.
You kind of want to have all 4 seats done. That way, if there's ends up being ties, the mayor can then break ties, but it will stay vacant until we can find someone that the council will support to go into that position. And with us only having 3 people, it can sometimes, take a few tries.
Now, during the meeting, the mayor named Barry Ruddick as a potential nominee, but city officials never seconded it. And the city of Joplin hosts a recycling, education, and outreach open house at the Joplin Public Library. The event invited residents to share feedback on obstacles to recycling as well as ideas to improve community education.
We take cardboard, brown packing paper, they go together, papers, notebooks, phone books. We take e-waste, all your electronics, TVs, about anything with a cord we'll take, paperboard like your cereal boxes and things like that, and glass, which is 100% recyclable.
Now, city officials say the input will help shape a plan to boost recycling awareness across the region. The goal is to identify challenges and enhance outreach efforts for the future. Well, a semi-truck overturns at the downstream roundabout yesterday afternoon. Joplin Fire and Police, along with the Newton County Ambulance and Reddings Mill Fire, responded to the call around 4:30 p.m. The semi-truck, hauling 40,000 pounds of dog food, struck the roundabout with the left wheels going into about 1/4 of the landscaping, then overturned to the right. While traffic heading south was diverted to the road behind the Q store till about 8:45. Now let's head over to Lindsay for another look at the forecast.
Well, we do have a low risk for severe weather today, but you can see most of us aren't in a severe weather risk today or tomorrow. Now, taking a look outside, range line and 32nd Road, you can see overcast skies, but all the rain has passed momentarily because we will see more rain moving back in. Now, temperatures in the upper 50s, low 60s. We're not warming up too much today. We're going to stick around in the 60s, and these overcast skies also stick around even if we don't see any rain chances. It is going to be a gloomy day, unfortunately, continuing into tomorrow. Now let's go ahead and look at our future tracks. We're going to have isolated showers and thunderstorms popping in, moving in from the west. Some of these storms could be stronger, though this is not where our severe threat kicks in. So we're not expecting any type of severe weather with this, but strong storms, lightning, thunder. You can see isolated storm popping up near Oswego and Columbus, another isolated storm out there near Independence. Those are all going to be moving in around 9:30, 10 a.m., and then it lifts north. Heavy rainfall continues about noon until mid-afternoon in those northern counties. Heavy rainfall, thunderstorms, though not a severe threat, with isolated storms popping up mid-afternoon in our central and southern counties. Again, no threat with this either. Now, those are going to continue until about 6 to 7 p.m. We go through a little bit of a lull before we see our actual severe threat, which is going to stay south of I-44 down in Arkansas. You can see near Bella Vista. Strong gust front is associated with this, with the potential for hail. That moves out pretty quickly, and then we have more rain showers tomorrow. I'll have a full forecast coming up.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. And don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get those severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Well, drones are often used to help survey wildfires as they happen, but aviation experts say the flying tech can also help prevent devastations before they begin. Fox News' Ted Lindner has more.
As wildfires continue to impact residential areas across the country, some agencies are turning to the skies to get ahead of future devastations.
Drones are a great source to help identify the hazards because in the past, we were really limited by not just the spatial resolution of satellite imagery, but also from a temporal sense because satellites can only pass over certain areas a certain amount of times.
Aviation experts say drones can be deployed in specific areas, such as places with potentially high risks for wildfires, to help provide a new perspective.
They can also provide information in a way that we get a lot more detail.
The need for an aerial view to survey land is increasing, as many properties outside of urban areas could feature high fire risks.
Trees too close to the home, debris in the lawn because they maybe are in the environment to where they might want to have a woodland look. And another overlooked hazard are propane tanks that are often located quite close to the home.
Removing potential hazards on properties often varies based on state and local laws and may require other agencies to keep the property safe.
In some areas, insurance industries are actually using aerial information and identifying those problems.
As insurance agencies also look to drones to assess potential fire risks, some laws are adding more building requirements to limit future wildfire damage.
Some new developments are actually being built to be fire safe, where they do have to meet a certain code, where you might have inspectors coming by on the ground, or even in aerial surveys.
Ted Lindner, Fox News.
Now to look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. We'll hear how you can help provide your kids with a healthy mental health system. Well, in Consumer Watch this morning, for the first time, ships are reaching American shores carrying Chinese imports subject to 145% tariffs. The Port of Los Angeles says cargo is down 35% compared to the same time last year. Now, experts predict those lighter loads could soon lead to inventory shortages and price hikes. Now, the Trump administration says it's set to hold the highest level trade talks yet with Chinese officials. Amy Kiley has details and a look at what's at stake for Americans.
My sense is that this will be about de-escalation, not about the big trade deal.
Top U.S. and Chinese officials are set to discuss tariffs in Switzerland this weekend. Authorities say Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer will be there.
We don't want to decouple. What we want is fair trade.
The Chinese Commerce Ministry confirms the talks. It says it's, quote, taking into full consideration global expectations, China's own interests, and the appeals of American businesses and consumers. It's unclear if the countries have negotiated much or anything already, given mixed messages like these.
They've reached out since the 145% tariffs.
Oh yeah, sure.
Do you believe
a lot?
Do you believe
a lot all the time? We're talking.
These will be the highest level trade talks we've seen between the United States and China since those 145% tariffs went into place.
That's correct.
The meeting comes as the U.S.-China trade war causes concern for many U.S. investors.
Markets basically saying, show us the deals.
And for U.S. business owners.
There are 900,000 workers in Southern California connected to the supply chain, and there are 9 million across the United States.
Some supply chain experts also report less cargo is entering the U.S. They warn that could cause inventory shortages.
The cargo doesn't lie. You're seeing the price increases come through.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Well, today is Real ID Day, and most Americans will now need real IDs or an approved alternative identification to board domestic flights. Consumer procrastination and snags at state motor vehicles departments means some travelers may not have their real IDs yet, but you can still fly under certain conditions. Have alternative acceptable identification like passports or Department of Homeland Security travel cards. Now, if you don't have those, the DHS says be prepared for extra security screening time in a separate area to verify your identity. Well, United says it's going to waive change fees for consumers affected by the air traffic control problems at Newark. Now, the airline says those getting waivers are subject to some conditions. Flights had to have been purchased on or before May 4th, and travel had to be scheduled between May 6th through May 17th. Tickets have had been in the same cabin and between the same cities as originally booked, or including New York's LaGuardia Airport or Philadelphia International Airport. The new flights also have to be departing on or before May 12th. Well, once again, Rite Aid is seeking bankruptcy protection as the drugstore chain looks to sell most of all of its assets. Now, the pharmacy chain says its stores will remain open as it begins Chapter 11 bankruptcy proceedings. The company initially filed for bankruptcy protection in October 2023 with plans to sell parts of its business and restructure. Now, pharmacy chains like Rite Aid, Walgreens, and CVS have struggled in recent years due to high debt, inflationary pressures, and increased competition from Walmart and Amazon. Well, student loan payments are back and forth for some, so is the financial pain. Now, the Department of Education is collecting loans in default for the first time since the pandemic, and experts warn it's already taking a big toll on credit scores. Fox News multimedia reporter Sarah Algery is in Houston with more.
According to federal data, more than 5 million Americans are in default because they haven't made those monthly payments on their student loans in a year. So now the federal government is saying pay up or face the consequences.
Once you've defaulted on your loan, that means you've gone 270 days without a payment. They will begin a collections process. Up until then, the servicer will certainly try to make contact with you to get you back on track, get you in repayment if you're 90 days behind or 120. But once you hit that 270, it's going to transfer to a specific collection group that works only on defaulted student loans. There are large fees that can be assessed up to 20% of your balance. Can be assessed through the collection process. You don't want that to happen.
New data from credit agency TransUnion shows borrowers with strong credit scores are taking the biggest hits with drops of up to 175 points, mainly because they have fewer negative marks in their credit history. Now, those with weaker credit scores, they're down by 64 points. Experts tell me there are three main ways to get out of default: paying off the student loan in full, reinstatement, which means making a series of on-time payments, usually over the course of 9 months, or consolidation, which lets eligible borrowers roll their student loans into a new plan based on income. For those who don't take action, the government can take tax refunds and withhold Social Security benefits. Later this summer, the Department of Education says they'll begin to send out notices letting borrowers know they'll take a portion out of paychecks in order to collect debt. In Houston, Sarah Allegre, Fox News.
And those are our top consumer stories. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Well, we have another round of potential severe weather later on tonight. It's going to mainly stay south of I-44, and it is only a low risk, so we're not seeing a big threat there. Now, it's caused by our low pressure system that's out in Kansas and Oklahoma, mostly western Kansas, western Oklahoma, though that's going to start to make an appearance later on this morning. So we're seeing a few isolated showers popping up. Those might be a little bit of drizzle, some light sprinkles. All that's going to continue to move in. Plus, thunderstorms will start to develop as well and pushing into the area. Isolated storms, that is, through mid-morning, and then those lift further north, and we're going to see heavy rainfall, Pittsburgh and north, through most of the afternoon hours, about 1 p.m. all the way until about 6 p.m. Now, later on this evening, we do have the chance for another isolated storm that does bring our low risk for severe weather. So taking a look at our future track, 10 a.m., isolated storm out near Oswego, Columbus area, another isolated storm that's going to be pushing into the Independence area. And again, this is about 9:30 to 10 a.m. Now all that lifts further north, becomes more widespread. We're not looking at that isolated threat. We're more looking at just heavy rainfall. Band of heavy rain sets up around Pittsburgh, Parsons, and north, staying mostly in those northern counties. Pittsburgh may be on the tail end, may get some heavy bands of rainfall, but not consistent. And then we're going to start to see isolated showers popping up, mostly in our central and southern counties, while the widespread rain stays up north. Now all that eventually will push up north. This is about 6 to 7 p.m. Still seeing some isolated showers sticking around. You can see the Joplin area about 6:30, little isolated shower there. And now again out near Columbus, Oswego. But all that will eventually dissipate. We're going to have some heavier rain out near Yates Center and out to the west, but that threat for severe weather stays down south in Arkansas, even clipping parts of Oklahoma as well. Now, the main threat with that system, you can see that isolated storm is going to be a gust front, very strong gust front, and a potential for small hail. Now, it dissipates pretty quickly, and then we do have isolated showers and rain chances returning Thursday morning. Now, we're going to start Thursday again the same way we started today. Those light showers, light drizzle through your morning commute, and then isolated heavier showers through the midday to mid-afternoon hours. Now, eventually, towards later afternoon, all of that's going to continue to push a little further south. Clouds clear, rain clears, and we're in store for a clear evening Thursday evening. Until then, if you're not getting any rain chances, you're going to be stuck with this picture. It is overcast skies, a little gloomy out there. You can see downtown Pittsburgh. No rain yet, but we are, most of us, going to see chances of rain at some point throughout the day, but the heaviest rain will stay in the north. That continues all the way through Thursday morning as well. You can see rain accumulation totals 1 inch to 2 inches in those northern counties, and then the rest of us that are only seeing these isolated thunderstorm and isolated shower chances could potentially only see another 1/10 of an inch of rainfall. So like I said, if you're not getting any rain, you're going to be dealing with overcast skies, just gloomy, gross weather. And then by Friday, sun comes back out. This weekend, we're going to be back into the 70s. And then next week, we have potential for pop-up thunderstorms due to surface heating because those temperatures are getting into the 80s. So it's going to be a little taste of summertime before another round of severe weather returns later this month. That's Look at Your Forecast. We'll be right back.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt signs Laura and Ashley's law strengthening sentencing requirements for certain crimes in the Sooner State. Beginning November 1st, crimes of accessory to murder in the first degree and accessory to murder in the second degree will be added to the list of felony offenses requiring criminals to serve at least 85% of their sentence. Lorraine Bible worked with State Representative Steve Bayshore to file the bill. And road work is underway along K7 south of Girard to US 400, causing minor delays for drivers. The project includes a mill and overlay to repair damaged sections and extend the life of the highway. KDOT expects the $5.5 million project to be complete by mid-June, weather permitting.
Well, weather permitting indeed. We are still in the heart of severe weather season. However, this week looking pretty good. We don't have a severe threat, just thunderstorms continuing today and isolated showers continuing tomorrow, but clearing out for the weekend. 70s by Saturday and then 80s by next week. Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.